Now that being said, some of you have made a lot of contributions in this room that I don't know as well, but I know Greg Gilroy, Dale Putman, Lynn Holt, and I don't see Budson in here, but Howard Stinson's been another one. People that I've been around for a long time that have been examples for me as to how important this association is. And I want you all to know that I don't take this position lightly. I know that it means a lot to a lot of folks out there, and I will do everything in my power to leave this better than I found it. But again, thank you all for setting the stage for this and the foundation for a strong association going forward. For the rest of you that I didn't mention, thank you just for being here. This is a volunteer association. You being here this weekend means this was important enough to you for your soldiers, for your airmen, for your family, for the retirees that have come before us to come out here and talk about our association business. And it is important. The things we're doing are relevant. And I'm excited, I'm incredibly excited about where we're headed. One of the things I'm most excited about is the opportunity to get to continue to meet more great people. The folks I've just mentioned, I really would not have, other than Howard, who's been around forever, been around me forever. I would not have had the pleasure of getting to know you all had it not been for this association. And I would not be, I'm a better person for it. So I've also gotten to meet folks like Alyssa, Steve, Chris, folks I would never have met. But this, to me, is what our association is about. We're about taking, and again, back to my first sergeant days, it's about taking care of people. And all of us in the rooms that are NCOs and senior NCOs, taking care of soldiers, taking care of airmen, it's what we do. So this really isn't that much different than what we do in our guard job. It's just a different venue for doing it. So I say thank you to all of you that are here and that have made that a priority. And that's something, that's how I want to push this going forward is we're really not doing anything incredibly different in here, guys. This is it's just an extension of what we do in our regular jobs in the military. If you look, we had myself, Chris Hargis, Richard Knobloch, Melissa, Aaron Massey, and then I won't go into the committee, but those are, and then Greg serving as our executive director. But if you look at that, I think this is the first time probably in recent memory that we can say 5 out of the 6 members that I just mentioned are active members. That's huge. That's huge going forward. And I say that out of no disrespect for the retirees in this room. But what's going on right now is not what went on 20 years ago. If you ask the VFWs and the American Legions, they are dying on the vine because they're not changing. They are not evolving as organizations. And therefore, they're struggling with membership the same way we are. We're going to have to make some changes, and it's going to have to come from the folks that are within the active component, those of us that are currently serving. So if we do nothing more than, and God bless you all retirees for being as active as you are, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have an association. I realize that, and I think the folks that have gotten involved realize that. But we have got to do a better job of filling this room with folks that are currently serving in the blue and in the green. It's imperative. What we're doing impacts them directly. If you listen to the initiatives that our legislative committee chairman talked about and that Mike Hadley talked about over in another room, not one single one of those applied to retirees. It was all to active component members. And to me, it's embarrassing that we have to have them looking out for our needs. I'm appreciative that they do it, but we have got to start learning to take care of ourselves, and we've got to start spreading the word in our active components as to what this association is all about and how important it is to continue it, to evolve it, and to make it stronger going into the future. I and we need all of your help. We need to go out there, we need, and as Chief Williams so eloquently put it, we need to go talk about the why. I remember as a young airman hearing about, you need to be a member, you need to be a member, you need to be a member. Well, that's great. And that's fantastic. But what I hear out of that is, I need your $30. And it's got nothing to do with that. You all know, everybody in this room knows that the gears that turn the machine are not paid for by membership dues. Not at all. It's a lot more than that. But we need to let them know why. And I firmly believe, and Max and I talked about this when I became president-elect 2 years ago, that we build this thing from legislative out. Those changes and the effect that we have on the laws and how they affect our soldiers and airmen, our families, our retirees, that makes this association relevant. If we work from there and expand out, I think we're going to be successful. And I think this thing is going to turn into an incredible snowball rolling downhill. Because then the committees are going to fill up. People want to belong to an organization that makes a difference. If we're an association just for being an association's sake, it's not good enough. Nobody wants to be a part of that. Nobody wants to spend an hour on a Thursday or a Wednesday night sitting in an executive committee meeting just to sit in an executive committee meeting because that's what the bylaw says we're going to do. We need to be making a difference. And I feel like we've started down that path. In the last few years, I really think that we have gotten to where we're going down that path. But we need to tell our story. We need to get it out there. Everybody needs to hear it. I know Max alluded to the fact that we're hurting in our committees right now. We really are. The first goal when I started working closely with Max was to try and start getting the membership up. We went from, gosh, 1 year 500 and some to 800 and some. We were up by 300 members. The second step to that is now that we have more people, we need more people actively involved. So we need to get the committee chairs filled, and then we need to get some committee members on to help those folks. It sounds like a lot, like when Max was talking about the scholarships, doing the SOP and all of that, it does sound like a lot. But if we have, it's a lot when your president or your vice president or your first vice or your second vice are doing the work of 3 or 4 committees also because they're not filled. I ran the golf tournament yesterday, and I was exhausted by the time the day was over because we had rehearsals, dry run-throughs, and things like that. You can't have your officers doing so many things. But if we get more people drawn in and active, and we have 15 to 20 people doing a handful of things and concentrating on those, it won't take nearly as much time and things won't fall off the table because they're going to be able to pay more attention to them and get them done well. So that's where we need to get. That is my mentality where I want to take us. A few of the changes, I'm not talking about major change, but going forward, there's some changes that I would like to institute to help make sure that the predictability, the structure, and the professionalism of this association going forward are upheld. Because I think that's one of the things that's going to be very important to get members to come to the meetings, be engaged, and want to come back when they come to a meeting that runs smoothly, that we get things done, we delegate things out, and we don't just stall out. And like I said, we're not just talking to talk. I'm not saying, but please don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying that's the way that it's been, but we've got to start getting back, and myself included, to learning, Robert's rules to a certain extent, because there's a reason that stuff's in place. It's not because, it's to make sure we're doing things the way we should be doing them. I want to make sure that our status as a nonprofit is taken care of the way it should be. Our budget, if you look at it, we have tens of thousands of dollars that we're responsible for, and making sure that they're being taken care of responsibly. So I want to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to be doing. But most importantly, I would like to get things in place to where the next person that steps into each position that we have in our executive committee or in any other committee, when they walk in, we have something to hand them that says, okay, here's what you need. A continuity binder, if you will, a checklist or something like that. I know there were things that was done like that in the past, so I know it's not reinventing the wheel. It's just a matter of dusting them off and getting to work. But again, we need more than 6 people working on that. So please, please, please go back, spread the word. Let them know that we really need your help. That being said, there is something that I think we fall prey to as an association. Nobody wants to say no. But sometimes saying no and not being able to follow through with your commitment can hurt more than saying yes, rather than saying no. Because we've had people who, under good intention, have said, yeah, I'll do it. Not really thinking about what their commitment was going to mean and how much time it was going to take them, and then it just goes by the wayside. This kind of sounds like a counterpoint to what I was just talking about as far as getting more involvement. But I will say that when I first got into the Guard, I didn't have that much time. I had a young child at home. And as she got older, I was chasing soccer, I was chasing this, chasing that. Well, now I have a teenager, she's got a car, she goes to practices at school, I'm not doing all that. So right now, it's just a great time for me to serve and a great time for me to be heavily involved. So when we go out and we talk about folks becoming members, I realize that some folks can only, just being a dues paid membership is enough. And we need those folks. But we also need folks who are at a spot in their life, or they have enough drive to become a member that's going to be able to step into a committee, willing to step into an officer role because they believe in what the association is doing. But I would just ask that for those that volunteer, make sure that that's something that you can be able to commit to, because this association has been hurt numerous times by, I'll do it, and then they're never heard from again. It sounds good in the beginning, but sometimes if you're just too busy, it's okay to say, you know what, I'd love to do it, but right now I just don't think I can make that commitment. Got it. That's great. We'll get somebody else to cover down. So, again, I don't want to end that on a negative note. I really meant what I said. I'm very excited about the future of the association. I want to say a special thanks to Mark Cusimano for coming all the way, driving all the way up from New Orleans, freezing his butt off yesterday in a short-sleeve shirt, playing golf with us out there. To be here as an Area 4 representative, kind of take back to the area council what we're doing here. And I want to thank Chief Williams for being here today. It means you're walking the walk, Chief. You say it's important. You're here. I appreciate that. We hear you, and that's the way we as senior enlisted leaders have got to do the same thing. We've got to go back and do that in the Army and the Air side. And I promise you that we'll make that happen. I look forward to getting to know everybody in the room that I don't already have a personal relationship. I really want to, because my wife will tell you I've never met a stranger. I really enjoy, especially the folks we're all here for one reason. We're all committed. We all took pretty much the same oath. We're all cut from the same cloth, whether it's color green or whether it's color blue. But we're all working towards that same thing. We've all got families. Most of us have got the goal of getting all the way to retirement. Some of us in the room have already rang that bell. Some of us are incredibly jealous of those who've already rang that bell. It's not too
ring it the second time, you'd be really jealous.
Can't really call it a fixed income at that point.
Call it a fixed bell.
Anyway, thank you all for entrusting me for the next year of the association. I promise to give it my best. And I also promise that if things are getting too heavy, I'm going to ask for some help, because I know that's one of the things that strong people do, resilient people do, is you got to know when to say when. And I know I got all the support in the world from all the folks in this room, and I plan to do that. I truly mean it when I say I'm excited about what we got going forward. And thank you again all.